Welcome students again into the chemistry class. We are learning the 12 principles of green chemistry. In this chapter number 16 of 12 science, green chemistry and nano chemistry. Now up to the 7th principle of green chemistry we learned yesterday. Now this is the 8th principle of green chemistry, that is reduce derivatives which are formed in the intermediate steps or minimize the steps. If we minimize the step, there is no formation of the intermediate derivatives, because due to that intermediate derivatives, what happened? Due to the intermediate derivatives, there is the formation of waste material. So commonly a commonly used technique in the organic synthesis is the use of protecting or blocking groups. That is, we have to protect one group, functional group, and carry the reaction of another functional group only. This can be commonly often occur into the synthesis of organic chemistry. If we can then by unnecessary derivatization should be minimized. This unnecessary derivatization due to the blocking or protecting of one of the functional group in the organic synthesis can be minimized or avoided if possible, because such steps require additional reagent to block the functional group. Any functional group, we require the additional chemicals or reagent, and they can generate the waste. For example, see here, for the synthesis of meta-hydroxybenzoic acid from meta-hydroxybenzaldehyde. Now this is the meta-hydroxybenzaldehyde. We have to prepare or synthesize meta-hydroxybenzoic acid from this meta-hydroxybenzaldehyde. But for that, we have to first protect this meta position hydroxyl group, and then we can convert this benzaldehyde group into the benzoic acid group, meta-hydroxybenzoic acid group. Then for protecting or blocking this hydroxyl group, we use here this reagent, additional reagent. That is, this is the benzene methyl chloride. Now this protect the hydroxyl group here because it reacts with this hydrogen, and this CH2C6H5 group is directly attached to this oxygen. HCl get eliminated here, minus HCl, and directly this CH2C6H5 group is attached to this oxygen. Due to that, what happened? This hydroxyl group get blocked. But this unnecessary steps is there due to the protecting or blocking the group, and unnecessary derivatives are formed. Again, on oxidation of this unnecessary derivative, there is a formation of this, that is the oxidizes this benzyl aldehyde group into the acidic group. But still this protection of the meta-hydroxy group is there due to this, that is the blocking. So we have to first protect this hydroxyl group, and again we have to deprotect the hydroxyl group. Now there is unnecessary steps again increases to deprotect the hydroxyl group, and this is also the unnecessary step, and then this that is the deprotecting step, we convert this group into again the hydroxyl group by deprotecting the OH group, and in this way here we obtain the meta-hydroxybenzoic acid. If possible, we should develop or we should identify such a method in which these unnecessary steps should be avoided, because they create the waste, and Therefore, the protection and deprotection in the organic synthesis, if we have to possible, then we can stop them or we can avoid it. And directly we have to search such mechanism in which there is no protecting or deprotecting of the group required. So, and again in such cases of this protecting and deprotecting functional group, atom economy is also very less. Atom economy is also very less. That means very less yield is obtained finally. So, green chemistry principle aims to develop such methodology. In green chemistry, the aim of the green chemistry is to develop such methodology where unnecessary step in protecting and deprotecting of the functional group should be avoided. And it is possible if practicable biocatalytic reactions are carried out. Biocatalysis, we can carry out this reaction and there is no necessary of protecting and deprotecting group and the formation of unnecessary steps or waste material, unnecessary derivative, and again the atom economy should be increases if we use the biocatalyst or by practicable biocatalytic reaction which are carried out instead of this protection and deprotection of the functional group. There is no need of protection of selective groups into the biocatalytic reaction. There is no need of protection of that selective group. So, green chemistry aims to develop such method in which there is the use of biocatalysis, and there is then it avoids the unnecessary steps and unnecessary derivatives in the protection of the selective group. Now, this is the aim or this is the principle of the green chemistry, and the main is into that to reduce the derivative, unnecessary derivative, or minimizes the steps. Then we have the that is the beneficial of the production and yield, and that is the main principle of the green chemistry. Now let us learn the principle number 9, that is the use of catalysis. Now this is also very important in the point of view of green chemistry. Now let us learn the number 9th principle of green chemistry, that is the use of catalysis. If we use the catalyst in the reactions, then the rate of the reaction increases. Catalyst enhance the rate of the reaction, and also the time required to complete the reaction minimize. Again, catalysts are very selective. They minimize the formation of waste material. Now, use of catalyst in chemical reaction speed up the its rate. Also, catalyst helps to increase selectivity. It minimizes the waste and reduce the reaction time. And also the energy demands also reduces due to the use of the catalyst or use of the catalysis in any organic synthesis or chemical reaction. Now, for example, we know that in the hydrogenation of oil, that is the hardening of oil, convert the oil into the fats. There, for hydrogenation, the catalyst used are nickel, Raney nickel, platinum, palladium, etc. These are the catalysts due to which the hardening of the oil is easier and faster. Now, next is the formation of ammonia by Haber process. So, Haber process of manufacture of ammonia, in that reaction, the finely divided iron is used as the catalyst. Now, in the manufacture of high density polyethylene polymer, HDPE, high density polyethylene polymer, we already learned this into the introduction of polymer. The catalyst used is the Ziegler-Natta catalyst. And what is that Ziegler-Natta catalyst? Name of the scientists are given to that catalyst, Ziegler-Natta, as they investigate them, this catalyst, therefore, and the Ziegler-Natta catalyst is nothing but the triethyl aluminum plus or in combination with titanium tetrachloride. Now this is the triethyl aluminum in combination with titanium tetrachloride is called as the Ziegler-Natta catalyst, which is used in the manufacture of high density polyethylene polymer. Now next is the very important reaction or very important manufacture or synthesis of the that is the sulfuric acid. So manufacture of H2SO4 by contact process. There is very important catalyst is used, that is the vanadium pentoxide V2O5 for the manufacture of sulfuric acid by the contact process. And in the synthesis of gasoline or petrol in the Fischer-Tropsch process, the catalyst used is the cobalt in combination with magnesia and thorium. In this way, the catalysis is also a very, that is the important way to achieve the principles of green chemistry or to achieve the green chemistry. Now this is the 9th principle of the, that is the achievement of the green chemistry. Now next, that is the 10th principle is to design for degradation. Now let us learn that. Now let us learn the principle number 10, that is the design for degradation, that is the biodegradation. Now always the biodegradable products or the chemicals are good as compared to the non-biodegradable chemicals. So the aim of the green chemistry is to design for such degradable that is the substances. Now design the chemicals that degrade and can be discarded easily. That must be biodegradable easily and must be discarded also easily. Such chemicals we have to design to achieve the aims of the green chemistry. Now this is the 10th principle, to design for the biodegradable chemicals or substances. Again, ensure that both these, that is the chemicals and their biodegradable products after degradation, the chemicals and their after degradation, their product, both should not be toxic and they should not be bioaccumulative in the stomach by eaten them by the organisms such as insects or fishes, that cannot be bioaccumulate in them. Again, they should not persist environmentally. That means in the environment they do not stay for a long time. They get easily biodegradable and easily discardable. Now such chemicals we have to that is manufacture or synthesize, and we have to that is identify the such mechanisms of formation or synthesis of biodegradable substances. Now illustration is that the aim behind this principle is that the waste product should be biodegradable. Again, after the synthesis of such chemical, their waste product also should be biodegradable, and they can be automatically clean the environment. Such byproducts must be synthesized that they automatically get biodegradable and automatically they clean the environment. So biodegradable pesticides and biodegradable polymers are always preferred as compared to non-biodegradable pesticides or non-biodegradable polymers. Now I told you into the polymer chemistry, that is the DDT is not, it get banned because it is not biodegradable, that is the insecticide. And again there are the so many polymers which are non-biodegradable, but now we have to that is use the biodegradable polymer. So it is always preferred. To make separation easier for consumers, an international plastic recycle mark is printed always on the large atoms nowadays. So to make separation easier, which are biodegradable, which are recycled, which can be not biodegradable, there is always an international plastic recycle mark on the many of the atoms are get printed now. Now for example, see here, there is the given some that is the there mark on the different that is the plastic nowadays we use in the everyday life. Now that are, see here, now this is the PET, that is the, this is polyethylene tetraphthalate. It is also called as PET. Now it is used in the microwavable food trays and salad dressing, soft drink, water and beer bottles for manufacturing this. This is used. Now see here, and again it get recycled to make carpet, furniture, new container, polar fleeces, etc. Now another is the HDPE, high density polyethylene polymer, used in the household cleaner and shampoo bottles. Status is transmit no known chemical into food. Recycle to make detergent bottles, fencing, floor tiles, paints, etc. Now next one, that is the household used polymer is the here is the PVC first. Take the PVC, polyvinyl chloride or only vinyl it can be called, used in the cooking oil bottle, clear food packing, mouthwashes bottle, and status is behind to contain phthalate that impair the hormonal development and avoid. Recycle to make cable, mud flap, penciling, roadways, gutters, etc. Next one is the low density polymer. Now this is the low density polyethylene used in bread and shopping bags, carpet, clothing, furniture. Status is transmit to known chemical into food. Recycle to make envelope, floor tiles, lumber and trash can liner. Now next one is the polypropylene, PP, used in the ketchup bottle, medicine, syrup bottle, drinking, straws, transmitted to no chemicals. Recycle to make battery cables, booms, ice carpets and racks, etc. Now these are their logos. Now 6th number is this, that is the polystyrene. Now the use is disposable cups, plates, egg cartons, take out container is believed to leach styrene, a possible human carcinogen into food, so it get avoid. In recycle to make foam packaging, insulation, light switch plates, rulers, etc. Now next, that is the 7th last one is the number 7, other miscellaneous. 3 to 5 gallon water juice, nylon, some food container contains bisphenol A, which has been linked to heart disease and obesity, so avoid. Recycle to make custom made products. Now these are some household plastic which get printed their mark and they can be recycled. Now let us learn the number 11th, that is a principle of this green chemistry. Now this is the number 11 principle of green chemistry here on the blackboard. See again. That is real time analysis pollution prevention. Now this is also the next that is principle, that is principle number 11. Now analytical methods need to be further developed to allow for real time in process monitoring and control prior to the formation of hazardous substances. So it is very much important for the chemical industry and nuclear reactors. So real time analysis pollution should be prevented and analytical methods are used to monitor these processes which can avoid the pollution and prevention of pollution, and this is very important in case of chemical industry and nuclear reactor, because in nuclear reactor there are so many, that is the new so many radioactive substances can be produced as the waste product, and that must be, that is that buried into the depth into the earth, and then there is no pollution from that substances. And the last one is the, that is the 12th, safer chemistry for accident prevention. So if the gaseous manufacturing industries are there, there is in some time there may be accident. So we need to develop chemical processes that are safer and minimize the risk of accident. So the substances to be used in the chemical reaction should be selected in such a way that they can minimize the occurrence of chemical accidents. Explosion, fire emission. For example, if the chemical processes work with the gaseous substance, then the possibility of accident, including explosion, is relatively higher as compared to the system working in non-volatile liquid and solid substances. So always the gaseous reactions are very explosive, and they may be there should be the accident with that workers or in the industry. So avoid such that is the formation or manufacturing, and safer chemistry for accidental prevention should be taken into that. Now these are the 12 principles of the green chemistry we have to adopt in our daily life, and then we can achieve the that is the green chemistry principles in the life. Now if you learn all these 12 principles very well, then you can share, like and subscribe this video, and tell the other student to subscribe also. Thank you.